The professional wrestling community is continuing to mourn the heartbreaking loss of Joe Doering, a man whose courage outside the ring proved to be every bit as inspiring as his accomplishments inside it. The former TNA Wrestling and All Japan Pro Wrestling champion passed away peacefully on June 26, 2026, at the age of 44 after a nearly decade-long battle with brain cancer. Joe spent his final days in hospice care surrounded by his wife, Lindsay, family members, and those closest to him. His passing marked the end of one of wrestling's most courageous personal battles, and within hours, heartfelt obituary messages and emotional tributes from his loved ones began spreading throughout the wrestling world, leaving fans and fellow wrestlers deeply moved. Among the most emotional moments following Joe's passing was the tribute shared by his wife, Lindsay. Throughout Joe's years of treatment, she stood beside him during surgeries, rehabilitation, chemotherapy, and every setback that accompanied his long fight against brain cancer. After his passing, she thanked everyone who had supported their family with prayers, encouragement, and kindness during the most difficult chapter of their lives. Her words reflected both overwhelming grief and deep gratitude, reminding everyone that while wrestling fans knew Joe as a fierce competitor, she knew him as a devoted husband, loving father, and compassionate man whose greatest victories happened far away from the spotlight. Her tribute quickly resonated throughout the wrestling community, with countless fans describing it as one of the most heartfelt farewells they had ever read. Although Joe Doering became famous for his accomplishments inside the squared circle, his story began long before championship belts and sold-out arenas. Born in the United States, Joe entered professional wrestling in 2004 with a dream of competing against the very best in the industry. Standing 6 feet 8 inches tall and possessing incredible natural strength, he immediately attracted attention. But it wasn't simply his size that impressed people. It was his work ethic. Every trainer who worked with Joe noticed how committed he was to improving. He approached every training session with humility and determination, qualities that remained with him throughout his career. Those early years eventually opened the door to opportunities in Japan. It was there that Joe truly established himself as one of professional wrestling's most respected heavyweight competitors. Competing for All Japan Pro Wrestling, Joe captured the prestigious Triple Crown Heavyweight Championship twice. Winning that title placed him among the promotion's greatest international stars. He also captured multiple tag team championships and became a fan favorite because of his combination of power, athleticism, and professionalism. Japanese wrestling audiences admired his fighting spirit. Promoters respected his reliability. Fellow wrestlers appreciated his willingness to help younger talent improve. His reputation continued growing year after year. When Joe later signed with TNA Wrestling, fans immediately recognized the experience and intensity he brought into every match. As a member of Violent by Design alongside Eric Young and Diener, Joe became one half of the Impact World Tag Team Champions on 2 separate occasions. The stable became one of the promotion's most dominant groups. Although Joe rarely sought attention away from wrestling, everyone backstage knew exactly how valuable he was. Veteran wrestlers frequently praised his professionalism. Newcomers admired his willingness to share advice. No matter where he wrestled, Joe earned respect because of the person he was. Unfortunately, in 2016, Joe's life changed forever. Doctors diagnosed him with a brain tumor. For many athletes, such news would have ended their careers immediately. Joe responded differently. After undergoing surgery and months of rehabilitation, he slowly rebuilt his strength. Against incredible odds, he returned to professional wrestling. His comeback became one of the sport's most inspiring stories. Fans celebrated every appearance because simply seeing Joe back inside the ring represented victory. He had defeated obstacles far greater than any opponent. Yet his battle was not over. In 2022, doctors discovered that the cancer had returned. Once again, Joe stepped away from wrestling. Once again, he underwent surgery. Once again, he fought with everything he had. Friends often said Joe never complained. Even during difficult treatments, he remained optimistic. He continued encouraging those around him instead of asking for sympathy. Late in 2025, devastating news arrived. Doctors discovered a third brain tumor. The disease had become increasingly difficult to treat. Although Joe continued fighting with remarkable courage, his health gradually declined. Earlier this month, Lindsay shared that Joe had entered hospice care. The announcement immediately prompted thousands of wrestling fans to send messages of support from around the world. Only days later, on June 26, Joe passed away peacefully surrounded by his loved ones. His obituary painted the picture of a man whose greatest accomplishments extended beyond championship victories. It remembered Joe as a loving husband, a devoted father, a loyal friend, a respected teammate, a mentor who quietly helped younger wrestlers develop their careers. Family members emphasized that although fans knew Joe as a powerful competitor, they wanted him to be remembered first for his kindness, generosity, and unwavering love for those closest to him. Those words deeply touched everyone who read them. Tributes soon followed from every corner of professional wrestling. TNA Wrestling honored Joe as a fearless competitor, whose courage inspired everyone fortunate enough to know him. All Japan Pro Wrestling reflected on the unforgettable legacy he created inside their company. Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling described him as an exceptional wrestler and an even better human being. Former opponents shared stories about Joe's respect inside the locker room. Many recalled how he always made time to encourage younger wrestlers who were trying to establish themselves. Others remembered his quiet sense of humor, his willingness to help, his ability to remain positive even during life's greatest challenges. For many people, those qualities became his true legacy. Joe's wife, Lindsay, became a symbol of extraordinary strength throughout his illness. She stood beside him during every surgery, every treatment, every difficult day. Even after his passing, she continued thanking supporters whose prayers had carried their family through nearly 10 years of unimaginable challenges. Her tribute reminded everyone that behind every public battle stands a family experiencing the pain together. Her words resonated far beyond professional wrestling. They spoke to anyone who has watched a loved one fight a serious illness. Today, Joe Doering's legacy continues through every championship he earned, every fan he inspired, and every wrestler whose career he helped shape. His story is not remembered simply because he won titles. It is remembered because he showed what true courage looks like. He refused to surrender. He refused to allow illness to define him. Instead, he continued living with dignity, humility, and remarkable determination until the very end. Although Joe Doering's passing leaves an enormous void within professional wrestling, the example he set will continue inspiring people for generations. His career proved his talent, his battle revealed his strength, and the love expressed through his obituary and his wife's heartfelt tribute showed the world exactly who Joe Doering truly was, a champion not only inside the ring, but in life itself.